An old man in a dusty jacket got slapped by a biker. 30 minutes later, his son walked in, not just a soldier, but his commander. What happened next? Left the room, breathless. Watch till the end, and subscribe for more stories that honor true heroes. Harold Price sat alone near the window, quietly sipping black coffee. The steam rose, but his hands still trembled. His jacket, old and faded, was covered in dust, yet a single shiny medal stood out, the Medal of Honor. No one noticed. No one cared. The world had moved on. Then the diner's door slammed open. A biker in leather and chains stomped in. His boots echoed like a warning shot. He scanned the room with a grin, then locked eyes on Harold. "Nice jacket," he smirked. "Bet you bought that at a thrift shop." Harold didn't flinch. He didn't even look up. The biker walked over, towering above the old man. "You deaf, Grandpa?" he barked, then grabbed Harold's collar. Without warning, he slapped him. The slap echoed across the silent diner. A woman gasped. A spoon clattered to the floor. The young waitress froze mid-step. Harold still didn't react. He just gently fixed his collar and took another sip. Not a single tear, not even a blink. "You ain't got nothing to say." The biker snarled. In that moment, a man sitting nearby whispered, "That medal. It's real." The waitress's eyes widened. "Oh my God, is he?" No one knew yet, but something in the air shifted. Outside, the wind picked up. A black SUV rolled into the parking lot. A soldier stepped out. He wasn't just any soldier. He looked like a man who'd been trained to lead. "Okay?" And he was walking toward the door. Inside, the biker kept laughing, but his time was running out. Who was this old man? Why did the soldier outside look like he had a mission? The quiet was ending. The reckoning was coming. Jake, the biker, leaned back in his seat, sipping cold beer like nothing had happened. His boots rested on the table. His laughter echoed, loud and ugly. A few customers looked away. Others whispered. But no one said a word. The old man, Harold, stayed still, quiet, his hands folded, his expression calm. He had seen worse in life. The waitress behind the counter couldn't take it anymore. Her eyes fell on the photograph Harold had left face down on the table. A number was scribbled on the back. Shaking slightly, she picked up the diner's phone and dialed. No one noticed. Jake was still bragging. "These old guys always fake stuff. Probably bought that medal online." But then the bell above the door chimed. Everyone looked up. A tall figure walked in. Straight posture, boots polished, sharp military uniform, heavy with medals. Behind him, 3 more men followed, silent, strong, steady. He scanned the room once, then walked straight toward Harold. He stood tall, paused, then saluted with discipline and respect. "Commander Harris. Are you all right, sir?" The diner froze. Jake's smirk vanished. Harold slowly turned his head and looked up. For the first time, he smiled. "Took you long enough, son." Gasps spread through the room. A few people stood in respect. Man near the back placed his hand over his heart. Jake stood frozen, jaw clenched, confused. "Wait, that's your son?" The soldier didn't answer him. He only looked at his father, then stepped aside. The other men stood behind Harold like a wall. A silence settled in that no one dared to break. The biker had laughed too soon. And now, the real story was just beginning. Harold stood slowly, supported by the soldier beside him. His body moved like it carried a lifetime of weight. Jake, the biker, stepped back, but still held a smirk. "What, you gonna hit me now, General?" The uniformed man didn't reply. He simply stepped aside, allowing 2 soldiers to gently help Harold sit in a better seat. Then he faced Jake, calm, steady, unshaken. "You just hit a legend," Kay said, clearly. "My father saved 32 soldiers in Korea. He carried wounded men through gunfire while barely able to walk. Today, he walked in here quietly, while you screamed like a coward." Jake opened his mouth to respond, but not a single word came out. People stood. One man near the jukebox removed his cap. Woman placed her hand on her heart. The silence grew louder than any insult ever shouted. Hey. Teenager in the corner lifted his phone and began to record. The uniformed son turned to the crowd and nodded once. Hey. Then he looked at his father, his voice softer now. You okay, sir? Harold smiled gently. Been through worse. No police were called. No fists were thrown. But justice walked in, quiet and proud. Jake sat down. No one looked at him. No one spoke to him. He was invisible now. Outside, the sun had dipped low. The soldier walked his father out, one hand on his back. The diner remained still. Not because of fear, but because everyone had just witnessed what real honor looks like in the man who once looked fragile. He had just reminded the world, respect doesn't shout, it walks. And when it walks in, no one forgets. Respect isn't loud. It doesn't shout. It simply walks in, and everyone stands. If this story moved you, subscribe for more moments that honor the quiet heroes.